Constangy TV's Close Up on Workplace Law, where we zoom in on recent developments of interest to employers, to their attorneys, and to their human resources professionals. I'm your host, Leigh Tyson, and I'm a partner in Constangy's Atlanta office. Today we're going to talk about entertainment. Movies, cable TV, network TV, studios, live performances. The entertainment industry is obviously huge, and obviously it has its own unique set of employment law challenges. But fortunately, here to talk to us today about those challenges is Nestor Barrero, and he is an attorney with our Los Angeles Century City office. And Nestor actually came to us from NBC Universal, yes, the actual NBC Universal, and he currently advises employers in all aspects of labor and employment law. But he also has a lot of experience in advising entertainment industry employers, so he has a lot to teach us, and we're really excited to have him here. Nestor, welcome.
Thanks, Lee. I'm glad to be here.
To begin with, let's go ahead and just for our viewers, can you kind of tell us a little bit about what constitutes the entertainment industry? I mean, I know it's more than just movie studios.
Yeah, much more. The industry encompasses a lot of businesses, from film, traditional television, the networks that you remember probably growing up, news stations, think about the newscasters and the reporters, cable channels, animation studios now, radio, traditional radio broadcasters that do sports networks, live entertainment, the music industry, theme parks, even game development are all part of the entertainment industry.
So there's a lot of things that are entertainment, so to speak.
That's right.
For a lot of things, it seems like the entertainment industry would probably face the same kind of challenges. The employers in that industry would have the same sort of challenges as any other industry. You got to worry about discrimination and harassment and Fair Labor Standards Act and trying to avoid being sued, all the basic things you do as an employer. But given how unusual the entertainment industry is, can you tell us some of the unique challenges that might just be faced in the entertainment industry that you wouldn't necessarily see at a factory down the street?
Yeah, as you can imagine, one of the unique characteristics in entertainment is the type of employee, the type of work. For example, the industry employs a lot of transient workers. There's slowdowns and very active periods, such as what they call pilot season. And besides the traditional production world that gets all the glamour, there could be other types of seasonal jobs, such as minors and college students, for example, at theme parks, and interns. There's also a significant use of temporary workers. So, for example, during the national election season at news stations, lots of temporary reporters, producers are brought in. Or leading up to the award season, the Academy Awards, the Emmys, they will bring in people to do publicity, et cetera. And unlike the factory, unlike some of the other more traditional industries, the entertainment industry also employs a lot of kids. Another thing that's unique about the entertainment industry is the large number of employees who have employment contracts. In the regular world, most employment is at will. There might be an executive with a contract, but mostly it's at will. By contrast, in the entertainment industry, many higher level employees have talent agreements or other contracts where both the employer and the employee have to abide by their terms.
Okay, and speaking of contracts, I'm a labor lawyer, so of course I got to bring this on home to things that I can talk intelligently about. The entertainment industry is very, very heavily unionized, isn't that correct?
Yeah, yes and no. I mean, historically, film and television in the entertainment industry have been highly unionized with writers, directors, actors, and what they call people in the trades, all the people that are on the set. But remember, entertainment companies also employ thousands of folks who are in more traditional non-union roles. In more recent years, there's been a trend, particularly in the reality show, and that's a big area now, of doing work with non-union work groups.
Also, you think about it, the entertainment industry is so much more, I guess, appearance-driven at the very least, and especially when you're dealing with things like on-air talent. So given the fact that it is so appearance-driven, does that create discrimination issues?
Another area that is probably different from almost any other type of employment is casting decisions. Dealing with the reality that often you're required as an employer to make distinctions based on race, on age, sex, some other protected characteristic. Say you're casting the role of a dad in a sitcom. You're not going to consider hiring women, obviously, for that part, of course. You have to limit your consideration to men.
That I cannot imagine that ever working or flying in any other industry ever.
No, outside of those creative industries, it's going to be very rare. But some issues are not so clear cut. If you say, or a studio says, this role is for a Hispanic male, does that mean that they have to be of Hispanic origin, or that they be able to play a Hispanic role, such as someone who's Italian American and can do an accent? Think of a film that's a classic now. It actually came out of my old studio Universal, Scarface, with Tony Montana, who's supposed to be this Cuban gangster, but he was played by Al Pacino. And even though it's sometimes allowed in the entertainment industry, and the industry has taken lots of hits over it, being accused of not providing meaty enough roles for older women, being accused of stereotyping Asians, Latinos, and African Americans, and sexual and other forms of unlawful harassment. The last issue, the sexual harassment, was unfortunately, surprisingly, fairly common in the industry for many years. The old concept of the casting couch, very overt quid pro quo harassment, is given way to more subtle issues.
Looking in your crystal ball, so say you can see into the future, are there any trends that you see for the entertainment industry?
Yeah, the biggest one is Silicon Valley is now part of the entertainment industry.
I have seen that show. That is a great show. I bet that is not what you're talking about.
No, I don't necessarily mean the show. Look at companies like Amazon, now getting into producing drama and comedy series for their own streaming network, or Netflix and Hulu, which are doing the same thing. Those are technology companies. They're not network television companies in kind of the old mold, that are producing traditional content. And one issue is going to be, will the high costs, the unionized practices of traditional entertainment industry employers continue in an environment where it's Netflix and Amazon that are dominating, and not Disney or NBC Universal?
Well, Nestor, this was fascinating. Thank you so much for joining us today.
My pleasure, Leigh.
And that's it for this episode of Close Up on Workplace Law. Thanks so much for joining us, and hope to see you next time. Bye-bye.